Hello, everyone. Good evening.
Good evening, welcome.
Thank you. My name is Grace, and I want to thank Hyacinth for bringing me to this panel and for the opportunity to share my story, and hopefully it helps someone prepare better for their interview. So I'll just say a bit about myself. My name is Grace. I was a PTDF scholar in 2022, and I came in for my MSc at Hereford University, United Kingdom, and um, my MSc was in Global Sustainability Engineering. I finished that last year, and currently I am doing a PhD in Chemical Engineering, which is also fully funded, but it's not a PTDF scholarship this time. My research focuses on getting new kind of electrocatalysts to convert CO2 to low carbon jet fuels, if that makes sense. I have a BSc in chemistry, had a first class from a Nigerian university. And prior to my application, my PTDF application, I was a chemistry teacher in a high school in Abuja. And before then, I had never heard about about PTDF. And it was my elder sister who just sent me the link, and I randomly applied, and I was invited for the interview. I had my interview at the PTDF Tower, Abuja. And how the interview went was really funny. Like I've heard other people's experiences, and yeah, while some other people's experiences were really serious, mine was quite random because when I got to the interview panel, I had two panelists on that day, one professor and one other PTDF staff. So my interview was quite funny because the icebreaker was one trending topic on the internet at that moment. So my middle name is Chidima, and I think that year was when one Chidima killed one man in Lagos in one hotel. And when I said my name, the panelist, one of the guys was like, "Oh, hope you're not the person that killed that man in the hotel." And we just laughed about it. And I feel like that helped me relax a little bit because I was quite tensed before the interview started. So that icebreaker was really a good one for me. Then they asked me other random questions. Do you have a boyfriend? I was like, it's quite personal, yeah, but yeah, I answered them politely and we made jokes. Then they asked me about my SOP, why I wanted to study the course I said I was going to study. So I picked renewable energy then, and that was what I wrote about in my SOP. And I told them my motivation, like a number of speakers have talked about internalizing your SOP, and I think that really makes sense. It's something you should note. Make sure you know your SOP very well. So I talked about why I was interested in the topic or the course I wanted to study. Then they also asked me one random chemical equation, because I said, oh, I study chemistry and all. So I just did that. So I balanced the equation, and that was all about the interview for me. About how I prepared, I'll say that Theresa said something that really resonates with me. She was over prepared, so I prepared for all the technical questions. Not all, but mostly what I felt like they were going to ask me. So I would advise you prepare very well for the technical questions. Over prepare if you can. And I also worked on my mindset. Like I knew I was going to, it was a scholarship that was going to determine the next phase of my life. But at the same time, I also told myself that the people there are humans like me, right? And this is not the end of the world. So whether I get it or not, yeah, I will feel bad if I don't get it, but I would be as open-minded as possible and just do my best and leave the rest. And the thing is, I also prayed. I feel like you can't emphasize this enough. If you're a Nigerian, you know that you have to keep praying and just trust God to lead you and favor you. Then, how else did I prepare? I brought every document with me. I made sure that everything that I submitted on the portal during the application was with me. They asked about professional membership. And at that point, I didn't have any. but I had just registered for one professional exam. So I came with the receipts I used to pay for that exam, and that was the only evidence I had. And I presented it and it was accepted. So I would advise that whatever evidence you have, just go with it. Nothing is too small to present. It can be what will help you there. For the do's, prepare for technical questions, right? But stay flexible, because don't just be too rigid and cram everything in your head, because you might get there and they will just ask you random questions and you would have to, you know, answer the questions as best as you can. Also, arrive early to the interview center, because when you're early, it helps you relax. You know, arrive early, and at least 1 hour early is what I would recommend. Dress well. Dress well when you go there. Don't dress like you're there for a party, of course, but dress like you're show up in the best formal outfit you can show up with. Anything that makes you comfortable and confident. Please show up well and show up strong, and smell nice, but don't choke them with your perfume. And also, when you get there, wear a smile on your face, and it helps to like reduce the tension in the air, I think. So just smile. And the don't try to show off. Don't tell these people that you know plenty. They will just, our Nigerian elders, like Teresa said, they'll try to like, you don't know who is on that panel, whose ego you might puncture by wanting to show off what you know. And trust me, those guys are experts. So they might try to like rubbish you and make you like let's see how much you know. So just don't show off. You know your stuff. Just listen to the questions and answer the questions as accurately as possible, but don't show off. Don't be late, and also try to like be as calm as you can, because if you're tensed, you wouldn't be able to think straight. So I would advise you try to like calm yourself down. If you need to say a pep talk, encourage yourself and just calm down before you get to the panel. Then final words of encouragement. Yeah, I applied for this PTDF scholarship once and I got it. I just want to tell you that you can get it the first time, okay? And the fact that you have been invited for the interview means you already have what they're looking for. I saw someone talking about the SOP they submitted. That SOP was what got you to to the interview stage. So don't feel like you didn't submit something good. The fact that you've been called for this interview shows that you have what is required. So go there, show up, and get the scholarship. Okay. But at the same time, remember that it is not a do or die affair. If this one doesn't work, apply for the next one. And don't just limit yourself to PTDF. Apply for other scholarships, right? And I wish you all the best. And I can't wait to see you on this side very soon. Yeah, that's it from me. I'm open to any questions you have.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much for your presentation, Grace. Yeah, you left quite a lot of time for questions. Thank you very much. So,
Yeah.
Chemical Malam. Chemical Malam. I'm starting in order of how the hands are raised here. So, Chemical Malam, kindly unmute and ask your question. Malam, how does somebody name himself Chemical Malam?
Good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Thank you for giving me an opportunity to ask a question. My question is about I've been shortlisted last year and this year also. But one mistake I made last year, one of the panelists asked me about the impact that my intended study will have because I'm looking at environmental science. So when I told him, he said PTDF are not in the business of oil exploration, that I was majorly focusing on the impact of oil exploration and what it has on the environment. The PTDF are into training. I think he said something like that. I don't know. Is that true, or is there a way I could understand it? Hello?
Oh,
You got cut off for a moment there. Oh, Grace.
Sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. Last year, one of the panelists asked me a question about the impact of my intended studies on the nation. So I somehow based my question on the NNPC exploration in the north here, Al Khaliri to be specific. So he was like, PTDF are not in the business of oil exploration. That I'm is my focus on oil exploration. That what you want is that PTDF are in the business of manpower development and not oil exploration. So that way, he tried to make me understand that intended, my answer does not resonate with the mission and vision of the PTDF. Now, I don't know. Are we supposed to like base our answers on the mission and vision of the PTDF while neglecting the source of any environmental impact?
um, thank you, Chemical Madam, for that question. So I would advise you, like what the guy said, the PTDF is not focused on training, but in my opinion, that doesn't really make sense because even in the SOP, they will ask you to like talk about how your research is going to help the oil and gas industry, right? So I feel like the guy just wanted to like, okay, how do I say it now? I feel like the person on that panel just wanted to like puncture something you said. In my suggestion is for you to like while you read the vision and mission of PTDF, also make sure that you know about the oil and gas too. So my suggestion would be like, okay, if possible, do a merger. Talk about how your research is going to help the oil and gas industry, and also talk about how it's going to help the PTDF specifically. Like, what are you going to contribute to the PTDF? Like, the truth is, the questions are not one size fits all. The panelists can have, you might meet different panelists at different points or whenever you go for an interview. Do you understand? And yeah, someone asked if it was for PhD or for masters. That's also like important to note because I don't know. Chemical Malam, was it for MSc or PhD you applied for last year? Are you still there?
Yes, I can hear you. I applied for MSc.
You applied for my MSc. Okay. So I'll just feel like the guy said what he said to puncture what you said. That's number one. Also, I would advise that when you're talking about the impact of your work, talk about it in terms of, like I said, the merger, talk about it in terms of the oil and gas industry and also PTDF specifically. So it should be like a two-sided answer next time in case they have any other thing they need to say. I don't know if any other person has something else to add to what I just said.
Um, I can see two scholars hands are up. Gift and Teresa. I don't know if it is questions you want to ask or you want to attempt to answer the question. So
Uh, Hi. Sorry. I just wanted to like chip into the question. I'm not asking the question. So when he said something about oil exploration and the impact on the environment. Um, if you check through the research, because I feel like sometimes that's why I said don't make them feel like they don't know what they are doing, or make them feel like what you're saying is a bit more important than what they're trying to say. And I think when it comes to the Nigerian oil and gas industry, they are currently trying to I don't think they actively talk about the oil exploration as a topic to them. I don't know if you notice, if you understand what I'm trying to say. So when you're talking about maybe the environmental impact, maybe try making that environmental impact a solution instead of like stating out to them what the environmental impact is. So solutions like bioremediation is like something that will catch their fancy. And then under that umbrella, you can tell them what you still want to tell them. For the sake of the interview, I always use the word for the sake of the interview. To get past that point, you could decide to do your research later on environmental impact after you've gotten the scholarship. But for the sake of the interview, Nigerians and Nigerian panelists don't want to talk about their problems as much. So just stick to their mission and vision and what they want to do while incorporating what you're doing. So I think it's just almost the same thing as Grace said.
Okay. Gift? Gift, you want? Thank you, Teresa. Gift, you wanted to add to that?
Yeah, hi everyone. Actually, what Teresa said was what I wanted to say as well. So, for some of us during our interview, we were just saying the things we believe they want to hear. So, my own advice, and I'll talk about this later on, you should go and look at PTDF's goals, their mission, everything. Design your answers in such a way that it is sweetening, just the way you go toast woman. Design your answers so that it is sweet in the ears. You are giving it to them and you're making sense in line with what you want to do. You get me? So that's just it. That guy just wanted to prick you a bit and see if you can actually say something that is nice to the ears. You should, in my opinion, you should have like just wind them a bit. If they whine you, wind them back. That whining be that. Which one is they don't because it is a problem for them. It's just like you doing a particular business and emphasizing on the negative aspect of it. No, you should talk them while talking about that. That's just it. I hope that helps though.
Yeah. Thank you, Gift. Malam, I believe you have heard from them. That's settled, right?
Thank you. I'm most grateful. I've learned a lot from this, and I will try to incorporate everything you said. I'm most grateful. Thank you a lot.
You're welcome. So, guys, you'll be hearing from Gift later. Her time slot is for 6:30 p.m. So you get to hear more from Gift later on. Uh, Malam, you can drop your hand. The next person is Abdurrahman Jamilu. If you could please unmute and ask your question. We have roughly 11 more minutes for questions. No? Yeah, 11 more minutes for questions.
Thank you very much. My question is basically on the outfit for the interview. Like, do you need to wear like a formal or corporate outfit, or you can go with your native attire? Thank you very much.
Anybody wants to answer that?
Um, hi. So I would suggest you go with a formal attire because just be as neutral as you can. Don't allow them. You don't know who's on that panel and has one bias towards anybody or any group, cultural group. So just go in your formal attire. That's what I would actually advise. So you don't give them any room for to like say, oh, this is what you did wrong. So just go in your formal attire.
Okay, thank you. Abdurrahman, that's
Yeah,
okay, right?
I okay.
Thank
Okay,
you very much.
Gift. Okay, Gift, you wanted to say something.
Yeah, to add to that, I really to be on the safe side, I support what Grace said. Just J, wear your shirt. Don't overdress, oh, but and also don't underdress. Make sure it is neat, ironed. Just even if na okrika, iron am well, sharp, go your way. Dress formal and smell nice. Smell nice, moderately nice. Don't go there with body odor, I beg of you.
Thank you very much. Abdurrahman, I'm sure that settles it.
Yes, thank you very much.
Yeah. Emmanuel, Akaogo, Emmanuel, you are up next. Please unmute and ask your question.
All right, sir. Thank you very much, and I'm glad to be here today. So, um, I wanted to kind of seek clarification based on the application I did last year. So I was shortlisted for the interview, and I went to Ibadan for mine, University of Ibadan. So the whole interview process was actually great. Everything for me, everything worked out well to the extent that myself and the panelists were actually speaking like in an informal way. They were asking me like, okay, you came from this school, how about it? We started gisting. And one of the panelists wanted to act in my favor. So she was like, oh, I had C5 in chemistry that instead of picking chemistry, she was going to pick a Greek for me that I had B3. So I was thinking, everything turned out well. I presented two professional memberships, graduate member Nigerian Society of Engineers and International Association of Engineers. But lo and behold, when the list of those who won the scholarship came out, my name wasn't there. So I was confused as in what actually happened, what was the criteria they used in picking the winners. Is it that probably there was a lot of competition in my state, Delta states? Is it that some states are more strict in their selection? So I actually don't know what went wrong and what I'll be expecting this time around. Because from the last one, that last year, I was actually thinking, okay, maybe it's WAEC result. It's my WAEC result that went wrong because it was just one A that I had. And that is something I can't actually change. I can't go back to rewrite my WAEC. Now I'm shortlisted for this year's own, and I really don't know what went wrong with last year to know maybe these are the things I should do and these are the things I shouldn't do. So if we would be able to say something to me, so I would actually know what to do and what not to do, because I feel I prepared very well and everything went well in my own opinion for last year.
I would like to
Who wants?
answer that question.
Okay, please go ahead and go ahead and go ahead and troubleshoot.
Emmanuel, it was not your WAEC result. That thing the woman did for you, she picked B3, right? Instead of a C5 that you got in physics also. Similar stuff happened in my case. I had a C4 in physics, and in geography I had for my work, and I had an A1. So when I got to the interview, I realized that the WAEC had, the way you have the points-based system, right? If you had an A1 in WAEC,
Yeah,
it's like
yeah.
10 points and then it keeps going down like that. So one of the panelists told me they were going to pick, instead of putting physics for me, where I had a C, they picked geography to complete the 5 courses. And I still got the scholarship. Okay. So I don't think it was a WAEC result. Now, coming back to your state, you're from Delta State. I'm from Anambra State. And I remember after the interview, they told me, you are from a very competitive state. Una too, they read book for that your state. So you're going to keep your fingers crossed. So the thing is, you're competing with people from your state, not everyone in Nigeria. You're just competing with those who applied for master's degree from your state. Okay? So that is what you should have in mind. So you said you had 1A in your WAEC. That's not going to I don't think that should be a very big deal because I'm sure you have other things to cover up And we just hope that this year, the people who are going to be applying, like the way these things work, right? It's point based. So it could be that you had a better WAEC result than someone else, and that person probably had maybe 5 professional memberships and 2 publications or whatever. So these things just happen. So you can't really say, oh, it was your WAEC result that made you not get it. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
if they decide to like use a grade where you had a course or a subject where you had better grades, it's in your favor. That's the point I'm just trying to make.
Okay, okay, thank you. Okay, one more thing. So I actually wanted to apply for membership for Nigerian Institute of Mechanical Engineers. So, but they said they put their website I can't apply online, and I had to do it the manual way, make payment, then wait for the certificate. And the thing is that the certificate is going. They say it will be available August or October thereabout, and that would have been actually late before my interview, which is 18th. So I don't know what I should do about that. Should I make payment and tell them during the interview that okay, I've applied for Nike as well, or what else should I do?
Yeah, make the payments. That was what I did too. I took the receipt of payment along with me, and that sufficed. So yeah, make the payment and go with your receipt.
Okay, okay, right. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Can I add something to
Yes,
that response?
yes, please.
Okay, so in addition to going with your receipts, because I think some people could accept receipts, but maybe not everyone, because I know someone who it didn't work for. A much better presentation that would validate your certificate absenteeism is the fact that there's something that, like, if you go to a portal and you have processed application and there's a profile, even if you're doing it physically, there are some pages they can print out for you as an evidence to say, this is your name, your membership number, but you are awaiting certification. If you can get that kind of document, because that was what I basically used for my NSCHE, my portal was showing approved, but I hadn't gotten my certification. So I printed that page in the portal where they were like approved. I had a membership number. So that was more of an evidence as compared to a receipt. And then when I showed that, it was able to start out with me as my certificate of membership. So I could show that I already have it. So even if they wanted to type my number online, it would have come out to see, okay, just that my certificate was not ready. So if you can ask them that, okay, if I pay to you, can you give me an evidence, something that has more weight than just the receipt? But however, if it's just the receipt they can give you, then for sure, why not? You can give it a try. Yeah, so that's what I'll say to that.
Okay, thank you very much. I'll ask. I'll ask. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your contributions.